Can you hear me now? Sorry. No, sorry guys. I thought I was on bugger, and I'm talking away, and it looked like my stupid setting auto device went to my camera. I don't know why TradingView does that. It doesn't stay still with my settings. I've got a few mics. I've got the Logitech string cam and a microphone, and it always defaults to something else, and I'm assuming that it stays still. But it gives me shit. Should I start again? Because I don't know how much you missed. So just people, should I start again? Just tell me that. Sorry, guys. Yeah, no one typed anything about volume except for one person, so I was just waffling on. Let me just start again if that's the case. Far out. I'll get it right one day. I'll need to do my I'll need to look at my checklist. Just check everything out. As usual, nothing was heard. Okay. So let's start again. All right. So let's look at the 4 hour. So what I've been saying, if I just expand this chart, you can see my clearly defined fib levels, right, on the right. And if I was to zoom in a bit, maybe make it easier for you guys to see it better. So you can see the resistance has confluence with the 0.5 Fibonacci on this wave impulse. And what I said here was that we have a 1, 2, 3 structure. So in this is the point of reference. We have the 1, 2, and potentially 3 momentum. Okay, this could ever, so this, if was the pullback, I expect it to be pulled back in this pocket around here, which has confluence around here. There's a lot that was resistance, support, resistance. So if price was to come back down, this will be my entry point. If it was, unfortunately, when price goes sideways, you can't rely on patterns that much. It's not reliable because it's in a ranging price. So that's our range, the top, and this is our bottom range. So anything in here with patterns is unreliable. Unfortunately, that's the nature of it. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. If it was outside a range, then your odds are becoming more successful. So based on this structure, with the formation currently, I do see potentially coming down here. I could see this 4-hour candle being a bit bearish, but at the same time, when I'm looking at this chart, price is consolidated under this major resistance, and you can see there's two. I've identified two reasons. This trend line is a major resistance, as well as this horizontal with the fib 0.5. Okay, so in the short term, I do see neutrality right there. It's not easy to say. If you haven't entered the trade, I would say wait for this breakout now. If you haven't entered it, I entered it at the bottom, so I took my chances and I entered there, and so I got that a bit of a luxury of just holding back really. And if this pulls back, I will look for. So my trade strategy is twofold. One's the hodl by the dips, and so I'm still bullish. That was the area that was the scariest part, so that's probably the best part to go. And if you haven't entered, I will look for the pullback or the breakout. So breakout, retest. So if you haven't entered a trade, and my second trading strategy is cash based, small trades. So I just look for making not accumulating, but making cash trades that make me money, and I don't really care where I take the profit. I actually shorted there and closed my short there, so I made a bit of cash in that small range. and so that you can take that as well. And sometimes you give back, because if it drops more, you're going to give back, but that's okay. So those two strategies work for me. So looking at that, look for the pullback. Potentially, even though I'm saying this, they could push it down to here, and then I would see, just like here, that the bull's defending this trend line, and this ABC, the triangle saw a breakout bottom formation for the upside. If this was a bearish move, this can be a bearish move, and then further down as well. So this could be the 1, 2, 3 downside. But having said that, it doesn't look like that's going to happen because of this. The MACD is pretty much moving up. This, you can see all the RSIs are moving up on the 4-hour. That can change. So let's look at the 8-hour. 8-hour, we do have the green RSI coming down, but I do see this slightly ever dip. It's something like this potentially. So currently everything looks good on the bigger time frame, and it fits into this structure as well. So my last video stream, I talked about the structure. Oops, no, I didn't want to do that. Get back. Let's see. Far out, come on. Give me a sec, guys. Right, so as I was waffling on before, while the volume was quiet, the last time I spoke about this structure, yep, let me try use this tool again. Probably better. Where's it? No, different colors. All right. So you can see that's a clear support level, and when we broke that, price went down. So I'll use that as a first zero reference. So that's my point A, pivot points. So far we've got these pivot points, right? So it does fit this structure, which is a broadening wedge. And if I got my count, if this was to break to the upside, then that's confirmation that I got E correct. And then this formation is legit, and pretty much I see that going, that fits into a reversal structure. And I can talk more about this a bit later on. So that's short term. I see this as the bullish scenario. We just need to see this potentially break up to the upside. I'll clear that. And the bearish scenario, as I spoke, if this was to come down below 50%, and then this red was to come down below 50%, then this would likely to break, and we will have another low, and then we'll look at 25,000. Yeah, well, I spoke about it last time. That scenario is possible if we were to pull back. So currently, this is a strong resistance, as you know, for many reasons across the board. Here, it's a bit. This is a separate structure altogether. So this structure is complete. We don't look at this anymore. I should do that so it doesn't prompt me. And let's go back. Let me think of my thoughts, how I communicate the rest. So that's my short-term outlook, bullish. And on the 8-hour, you can see that now we've got 5 hours, and I think this looks like it's starting to go down. Let's look at the 4-hour. Okay, not so yet. The 4-hour is still good. And you can see the alts also hitting their key resistance levels. So if we were to look at Ethereum, you can see Ethereum's hit its 0.618 level here. That's Ethereum Bitcoin. So it's also hit a roughly. So a lot of the coins. So if I see, let's see, ADA has also hit a resistance level here. So a lot of coins are pretty much resistance level. This, okay, EGD LD is broken out, so that's got a fair bit of momentum. And yeah, I didn't get that one, fortunately. Wasn't watching the alts that much while I was sleeping. Anyway, let's go back and Rune. So let's see, Rune, yeah, looking for a breakout trade here as well. So I do think it's going to break out. Rune looks good, or Thorchain. The Thorchain looks. So when you look at all the alts, they all sort of hit the bottom, roughly. What seems to be the bottom, based on this structure that we might see a fair bit of movement to the upside, but we need confirmation. So if I see this line break, and Ethereum, and also there's, yeah, we'll cover Ethereum and all the rest later. I'm just sort of getting distracted, going sideways here at the moment. Go back to where we were. Now let's look at the weekly. I just want to show you the bigger picture at the moment. Okay, so let me just hide that one there. Okay, so this is the bigger picture. Candlesticks, we need to look at them, and you can see this weekly candlestick is pretty bullish. That was a bullish hammer on the weekly, and pretty much does tell us that this area was just all bought up. It's like you can see all the wicks, and this area, so roughly anything below there was all gobbled up pretty quick, and then the rest was a bit of work, but that was broken up. So it does look like a reversal pattern at the moment. There's still downward pressure, but let's look at the weekly indicator. And this is what I was saying, I discussed in the past. This is nice, right? This is really working well. Get the small pen. We've got this crossover. So the green RSI, so the weekly candle, this one here, is closed on Sunday, and that made the green RSI cross the red right there. It crossed over. So the weekly is positive, significantly positive, and we have the energy, or the grey momentum above that 50%. So that on the weekly basis is very positive as well. So if we were to expand this and look back in the past, you have here something similar. Okay, so what happened here was the green RSI got a, when the green and red crossed over, you can see the grey begin. So if I was to put a vertical line, this is just the preliminary. So if the green crossing and the energy is above the 50%, we'll just put that there. Now we're going to go back to it, and you can see the momentum keep going up from that point onwards. So we have something similar here. All right, so let me just make that dotted line. Make that thicker so we know where we're going. Similarly here, and this could be another scenario where we've got the green and the red crossing over, and the 50% as well. All right, so there's two scenarios where one goes up and then pulls back, the other one continues to go up on the weekly. So if we were to look at that on the chart, in both cases they're pretty upward momentum in the past for those scenarios where this scenario is sort of playing out. So the green is, if the weekly closes the way it is, this section of the indicator will stay up. So really this week is the decider, I think. Pretty much this week is a decider. And for the ones that missed out the last stream, I did say that there's a pattern where the distribution period matches accumulation period. So that we had that over here, and we had that same scenario roughly here. So if we apply this part as distribution from there to there, or it could probably be even starting from there. I think this is a bit more accurate from that top on the weekly. 63 days. If we were to apply that to here, you can see we still got to the mid July potentially minimum. If we include that, we've got a few more weeks of accumulation. So the bottoming could, at the end of the day, we still got to see what this week brings out. But at the moment, it's looking good. So from that perspective, from this indicator, and I've added previously, so we can see the MACD histogram. See how we got these pink bars? It's just showing that it's starting to turn, and hopefully it stays that way. Something similar to, we don't have anything similar really. And I've talked about this area endlessly in the previous stream, so I'm not going to talk about that. I'm just talking about indicators giving us some reference points. So if I was to add one more indicator, give us a sec, wave trend. There's my wave trend. And let's see what the RSI does. Let's say Bitcoin. Bitcoin. Is that the one there? No, that's not the one. NVT, let me say NVT. I think that was the one. No. Okay, where is it? That's the one. Yep. So if we close this for a sec, let me just save this. You can see that the RSI is pretty much trying to stay up, really. It's at the moment just going sideways. And we have this level. So this level in the past was the bottom. So it might be able to come down, don't know. But that's, so this level I'll be looking at as a really oversold situation, but this capitulation gives it reason for a good bounce. My thoughts on Bitcoin based on this RSI is it looks like it's slightly pushing up on the weekly. Let's look at the 5-day short period, not 7 days, but 5 days. So you can see how this has dropped a lot. This still has a momentum to the downside. And yeah, so the 5-day doesn't look that good. Let's see 3 days, the next level. The 3 days has momentum to the upside. So this RSI looks like it's bottomed out, and we have a bounce on the 3-day. So definitely sideways at the moment. This is all telling us that we're going sideways at this level. So there's nothing on the 3-day and the 2-day. 2 days are upwards. So that's no surprise. The daily and the 2-day is upward momentum. And so I do see this potentially just going sideways in the next mid-level. So potentially from here to there, price just ranges in that area a bit longer in the short term. I don't see it going up to that top anytime soon, just more in this range. So once if it breaks down, yeah, I just see it going sideways at the moment based on these indicators. We're slightly to the above this level. So eventually breaks above and then stays in this top level, and then I suppose we'll reassess. MACD also crossed, yes. So that's basically because of this. The MACD doesn't really give us much on the daily. What we need to do is look at the bigger picture, and this, what we want to see is here. This is crossed over, so this is an early indicator. but we want a second indicator, one of these second indicators to confirm. And I think if this green was to come to 50%, they'll be 100% sure, something like this, or something like this here, where it goes, and then the red one comes up to 50% as well. But see how this energy falls down? So we need to see what happens here. If anything energy comes down or anything like that. Too early to say on the weekly, but it's looking good on the daily, that's for sure. Everything is upwards momentum on the daily. Now, let's talk about the structure, this whole structure. There's a few good scenarios where it's bullish. Let me just clean up this chart a bit. Some guy on the internet done a good assessment. There's a few assessments. Give me a second, I'll just get my notes and I'll explain it to you. So what we're looking from an Elliott Wave perspective is pretty much discussed last time. I don't see the point of discussing it again, but if I was to, I would use this picture. Give me a sec. I'll just copy my note and bring it in. So I'll bring this in, and what we're looking at is the Elliott Wave, right? So we've done so that was our top. We've had this A, which is pretty much around here. Then we had our B, and now we're looking for our C. And C seems to be this point here, right there. That's what 28,000, whatever it was. That's likely to be our wave 4 at this point. So assuming that, you can see we're going to have this 1-2 impulse. 1, 2, and then 3 impulse, which is wave 4 to 5. It's early days to say that, but if this was a wave C, then we pretty much hit the bottom. At the moment, it looks like it's playing out. What will confirm that is probably if we break this level. So if we break this level here, it's probably going to confirm that was wave C, depending. Okay, so that's one scenario. Then I've got this other one here that's playing out. So that's the wave count. Structure-wise, we've got this potentially. Is here. So we have price, so this is our trend line. And this is pretty much it there. Okay. So if it breaks past this, then if it breaks this level, then we're going to have somewhere around here, 0.2, 0.3 back to this level, and then up. So it does match. If that's our C, that will be the 1, 2, 3, like I showed you in the Elliott Wave count, upwards. Now here's another aspect to this. Give me a sec, and I'll bring the other chart, other diagram. This one here, and that reflects what we just did here. Okay, so if we were to put this price there, and if we were to measure this from there to there, okay, if we look at that picture again, so that's what's roughly played out. And from wave 1 to wave 2, wave 1 to wave 2 can be from that point to that point there. Okay, sorry, this one. mixing it up, sorry. That's changed. Let me think of what I was doing. Let me look at my notes. I recollect from there to there. No, that wasn't it. That could potentially be it there. No, sorry, mixing up. Where's that picture? That was it there. Give me a sec. So from that point there, so from 1 to 2, so that was 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. Okay. From this point here, this level. This was the level that we measure from. Just come back to me now. Sorry guys, just be there with me. So this, you get this rule, you measure that and you apply it from the point of breakout there, and ever so slightly that was played out. That is playing out as this requirement from there to there and there to there is what's played out. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and what I showed you before is the other aspect to it, which is 1, 2, and 3 upwards. So this is sort of playing out. Well, this part has played out. So the reversal pattern has played out, and the other reversal pattern from the bottom, which is paired with this, is playing out potentially. Okay, so let's look at the other scenario, which is this. So if I go back to the 4 hour, I believe that's there. This broadening wedge. This broadening wedge, if I also apply from there to there, yep. So that's potentially where it can go to. So it sort of makes sense. The bigger picture, if I was to break out, is the height. It depends where it breaks out from, and you measure that target as well. So there's 2 targets. Wherever it breaks out from, so that sort of ends up roughly there as well. So resistance. So that could be one, and the next one up there as a maximum. If we break this and break this top line, then we measure that formation. And the last part is we had that channel. So we've got this channel at the moment. And if we were to go bearish, we use this channel as the bottom range. So if this was if the bearish component, if we look at this as a bearish component and we lose this level, then we look at the bottom of this channel, which is significant, and it's the 1.618 reversal from here to there as a major. So that is, I don't see that happening, but I can see that if we were to lose a 30,000, I can see this going really down a lot, and that would fill in the A, B, C scenario as well as the bottom. So a lot of people see that, the bearish people see that potentially playing out, and this sort of justifies it. But the condition is that we lose this level, and so far we are going sideways. So but if we break this, we break this channel as well. So that's another scenario. So we've got a few things going to happen. A bullish structure, this channel, if we break this channel, it's definitely going to be very bullish, and it could potentially come down to this, retest the channel top, and then back up again. But that will be in the coming weeks or days, and anyway, we'll see what happens there. But so what I put forward is a few scenarios, right? Closed. Let me just clean this up a bit. and I can hide that. So this trend line is important as far as I'm concerned. And if I was to play with this ever so slightly, it's justified as a resistance. All right, so if we go in close, you can see it's pretty much playing a role. I think this horizontal one's playing the role first. So we got 2 levels to break. And what's the price now? Let's have a look. Still there, pretty good. So there is a battle here, definitely, and a strong resistance. So if we break this, it's going to definitely, you should go in. So our range is pretty much defined here at the moment. That is our range. That's our top, and our bottom's pretty much this level here. So price could, what did I say, up to this level here at the minimum, which is so. If that's the accumulation period within this range, it goes to show you that this potentially is the bottom part. So I got one here someone's put on the internet, and I'll show you what it is. They've done the wick off structure. So what they've done here, they see this happening as well. So the reaccumulation of the wick off structure. So you can see how they mapped it out. And it does show it's bullish. And I actually didn't show you guys on the on our forum. There is, give me a sec. Give me a sec. I should delete it. Okay, can't see it. Oh, it's on the chat. Here we go. So I'll get this one here. So this wick off area that we're playing. So this is a Bitcoin chart, and that's the bottom of a wick off reaccumulation. And if you look at it's on the internet somewhere, you can look it up. It's a typical, what they do, what the price action explains is, we have this range, and then we have a dip, pretty much to weaken the weak hands, and then back up again. And then ever so, and this area will be also a shakeout as well. And sometimes that shakeout can come back deep to this area and still go back up. So this is a ranging bottoming formation, and we pretty much probably got another 3 or 4 weeks of going, and we'll measure it with this model, see how we're going, see if it does play out similar. Here I got the 4x in simplistic mode. It does sort of support what we're seeing. We had this fake out here on top, so we had this structure, and then the fake out, and then the dip, just like this did. So this was the fake out, and then we had this dip below where it weakens the hand. So it's also another wick off structure. So what we were accustomed to is we thought there was a breakout with this structure here, right? We all thought this was going to go up. This was our ranging price, roughly, right? This was our ranging price, and we thought we're going to have that contraction breakout. And what they do is they play games with us. Bit of a fake out, comes back down, and we've just had that there, and then up it goes from there to there. So we're going to see a bit of sideways here, and you can see the average pricing in. If you were to do that, if you average in here, you probably be successful. This is a risky one, risky move, because you don't know if that's the bottom. But at the moment, I think we're right here. This is the area that we're in, based on this formula. So that's another justification that I'm looking at as the bottom. Here I have an example. I've another example here where price comes down, it does the 1, 2, 3, and then the breakout. So this is the breakout here where you buy. So this is another example of what we have, something similar: 1, 2, 3, and then up. So that's a good another example I'm looking at. So a lot of bullish scenarios that support the thesis that we are in the midst of a reaccumulation rather than a bear market. Well, this is a bear market. At the end of the day, we just lost 50% or so. So that is a bear market. If that makes sense to you guys, that's pretty much what I have right now. That's taken place. I've got this going. Give me a sec. And I don't think I have it on this chart, but if I don't, I'll put it in. No, not this one. Give me a sec. Where's my other Bitcoin chart? Maybe it's on one of these ones. No, not that one. Here we can see the RSI is potentially, actually, this is looking good on the 4-hour. So if we get this RSI to break above this level, this is the 1-hour chart, sorry. If we get the RSI to break above this, then that is definitely going up. So the MACD is coming down on the 1-hour, but yeah, I can see this potentially. So it can break down to the bottom as well. So either way, but there's also an opportunity where if it breaks this line, I would buy on the 1-hour. If it breaks this line here, that's a good signal to enter. So that could be one bullish candle coming out from there. Let me see, what have I got? I don't have. No, I don't have it. So what I'm going to do is I'll put it in. So this is a harmonic that is supporting our case. So from here, give me a sec. Yeah, so here we go. So let me just make it bigger. We've got this harmonic playing out. Sorry, right there. Let me do that again. We've got that point there. So this is the harmonic that's played out so far. Okay, and that with this harmonic, if I was to play this out, where is it? From there to there to there. This 2.618 is pretty much the last target here, which equates to 1 from a different perspective. So if this was a breakout, this will be the area that I'll look to close that, close it, and that has confluence to this level here, which shows you there's a lot of resistance there. And potentially, if it's even better, I can go to 3.618, which is unlikely, but I would look at taking profit from this point onwards if it was to break out and then potentially pull back, retest, and then we'll see what happens after that. Okay, any questions? Let me see on YouTube, see if there's any questions. Where am I?
Great, and
Where are we? YouTube. I don't know how many people are watching as well. So what we got. Okay, not many. Okay. So any questions about Bitcoin? Let's see what we've got. Yeah, you're not wrong. They do make it more entertaining. I don't think so. I'm more technical. Maybe I'll start adding some flashy stuff, but no, right at the moment, no. I just want to stick to boring TA. Well, where you can learn or concentrate rather than. So I've given what I've done. My goal is to give you a picture of a number of scenarios, and I'll give you my justification for those scenarios and why I'm bullish or bearish. I think I've done that well at the moment, which is giving you reference points, references from different charts, and I think that gives you a reason as to why this is bullish and the conditions for it. So the condition here is this level. We need to see this break ever so. If we break this, then that is another tick in the box for the wick-off reaccumulation formation, and also the 1-2-3 structure. Okay, would be nice to hear his train of thoughts drawing. I'm not sure what that is. TOS. What's TOS? Not sure what TOS is. Okay, so let's look at. We've got Ethereum. So I did post this in our forum, where this was I had, where is it? Where's the other one? Give me a sec. Is it this one? Yeah. So I did mention in our forum that if it breaks this line here, that this is a wedge, and it breaks it, it's going to be bullish, and ever so. So the target's there. So let's look at that. This is Ethereum. So I didn't expect Ethereum to outdo Bitcoin so quickly, but it did. I just, yeah, I didn't want to play that card with Ethereum because it's unreliable sometimes. So that was like, if you look at that, depends how you draw this line, and I think that's the line there. It was consolidating this resistance line. So when this resistance line, which has many points, break, you can see why it's going up. I have this, obviously the 618. This was the first initial, this 200 moving average as well. That was a resistance ever so slightly. And you can see the first target, which is a 618 here. So now what will happen from there? It could pull back potentially, but I do see this second target as a 1.618 extension for this little structure, which is confluent to having resistance around here, right? So this is pretty much a resistance level. This band, I do see that band as a resistance level all along here. This is the middle of this structure. Yep. So we've got very similar to Bitcoin, but a bit more with magnitude, I suppose. So we had this breakdown with Ethereum. Once it broke down, you can see broke down that triangle, and it went down to the bottom. This does look like a wick-off accumulation. It does. And so Ethereum could be here for a while though. It could do the double bottom. So I'm not going to take my chances with the alts that much at the moment. I have about maybe 20% in alts, and once I see a bit of confirmation with Bitcoin, I'm playing it safe. Then I'll see what the Bitcoin dominance chart does. Then I'll start flipping. At the moment, I did buy ADA and Link and Matic. They're the ones I'm accumulating. I had Ethereum, but Ethereum, I flipped from Ethereum to Bitcoin as it kept dropping. As it kept dropping, I said that I don't want to lose. So, but now this this structure is sort of outplaying Bitcoin a bit. So it's pretty wise to keep an eye on this. But yeah, that's what I have for Ethereum. If you draw these fib levels from what 0 to 1, and you can see there's a lot of confluence with each stage. So I would see this level as a major resistance, and therefore taking profit. It might go like that, and then that's the bullish scenario that I have. But yeah, this is definitely a resistance level as well. This sideways action is going to be here for a while. So let's look at another chart. If we look at Ethereum from a big picture, let's see if I've done it here. You can see Ethereum never came down to this level here. What it's done though, so if I was to hide this, just a look. So I measured the what do I do here? From 1, okay, that's 0.1. I don't know why I did that. It does match that. Just a look for a sec. So if this was from there to there, just let me reverse this. Now I add these two buggers in there. This is Ethereum, yep, okay. So yeah, there you go. Where Bitcoin was the 1.618, Ethereum was the 1.414. So this is looking like very similar to Bitcoin in terms of structure and pullback. Not structure, fib structure, fib level structure. So this was the next resistance, and actually, where's the one on this? Oh, okay, that's the one there. So many people, similar to Bitcoin, do you think it's going to come down to this level? It's possible, but at the moment, I think you can see these wicks on the 302 for this impulse. Actually, give me a sec. I think this should be here. Dropping that, yeah. I think that will be a better part of this wave. If I get rid of the wick and just concentrate there, yeah, that makes sense. Slightly. So this didn't quite get to the top, but yeah, I think this makes sense. If I do that, it does, yeah. I might have to use the body of the candles for this Fibonacci, and then this 382 almost there as being support. So that probably makes sense. Why Ethereum is doing what it's doing at this level. Find the 382 as a major, and plus this here. This pretty much tells you there'll be a volume profile there, and that'll be it there. It's probably based on volume profile where there's support for this section here. So I would say that this is the accumulation area by there, between just below 2000 and up there. So if this was to come down again, that will be another dip. I'll keep buying the dip pretty much, but I'd rather buy Bitcoin rather than this. Anyway, that's for Ethereum. Okay, it would be nice to hear the train of thoughts. All right, cool. Here we have Bitcoin Cash is breaking a key level as well, right here. So Bitcoin Cash is actually looking bullish. You can see how it's broken this main resistance level. Yeah. So based on my fib levels and all the rest, it's pretty bullish, isn't it? So it's done the reversal there. This could potentially this can also come back down as well. Just like I said, in a ranging price, you can't rely on it, but this could come back down. Otherwise, this level is the next one. Actually, this is the target, I would think. Target, then probably pull back. Bitcoin Cash. ADA is playing out this harmonic, bad harmonic, and you can see why I have this level as an important level. So it's potentially a breakout. So if it breaks this level, then I would be interested in adding more to it. But at the moment, no. I've pretty much got enough ADA as it is. So that I would see that as support if it was to come back down, potentially. But yeah, this will be definitely a key resistance level for ADA to break. And once it breaks that, yeah, I think it will keep going. This harmonic is basically saying that the target is roughly the first level is about there, and the second target is roughly back to where it is, which is double top. And then there's a third one, somewhere up there, but I won't talk about it until we get there. And this is looking good. So based on this, if I was to use the structure, potentially, that's the target there. That's one of the targets. If I was to do that, that makes sense. I would use that level. Pretty much that's the resistance there in the short term. If this was to continue on, that's the main target, but it needs to get past this first. So there's a range there, but that does look like a bottoming effect as well. Very similar to Ethereum, but less aggressive, but it is definitely a ranging price. So if this is our topping range, this is our bottom. I think that was the bottom. So this Bitcoin, yeah, so you had that level, it broke down. I think it could still range around there before it goes up. So yeah, also I'm not going to jump into the alts anytime soon. Just what I have is enough. But that's so looking at across a few alts is what I just want to compare. And if you look at the wick off, actually, for those that haven't seen it in the past, what there's different configurations for the wick off bottom. I've got a reference point there. So these are wick off accumulation formations. So these accumulations, did we play any of these? There's some of them are doing this. There's different formations. That looks like an Ethereum, maybe Ethereum is doing that. I'd rather look at it carefully for each one. I haven't done it yet, but you can see there's 4 main structures for accumulation, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but it gives you the mindset of price action where it comes and goes below or stays halfway. This is a reaccumulation. If price was, and we can use these models as well, they're pretty much similar. It's just that with the reaccumulation is price is on, this is a continuation pattern, and we've done that with the alts before they hit the tops. So these are very similar, except for where the price comes from the bottom up, where these ones the price comes. So the difference is here the price comes down with a sell-off, and then the bottom part is accumulation, where the reaccumulation is a continuation pattern from price coming up from the left, ranges sideways, and then goes up. So that's a reaccumulation. And the distribution is probably what we had. This one fits the model so far. So if we were to, if I was to get this, we had this scenario where Bitcoin did this. So Bitcoin did this reaccumulation, and that was a 50,000. That was a 63,000. The 53,000 dropped, and we range. So the thing is, we've probably done this. People seeing this is where we are now. So what we are right now, this could potentially play out. So I'm not going to be bullish all the time. That's why this is my 30,000 level. So if 30,000 is lost, we're going to see this happen. Okay. So that's what we're looking at. 30,000, we lose it, it's going down. And that fits the distribution. And then what that level could be anything really. My next level is about 25, 26K, 24 to 26K, the next level. And then it could potentially drop more to the 20K. So that's one model that I'm looking at, or I've already factored into my trading. I'll have to get rid of that. So just keep that in mind. So the distribution is still, we haven't got confirmation that's a reversal. And so so this is a continuation to the downside. That's a bear market. So we're not going to talk about that. But that's my reference points, if that helps. So someone's done a lot of work putting these charts together, and I've just added to my website. And if you're interested in accessing that, I think the guy actually, where is he? I'll see if he's there. Let me see if it's still there. Give me a sec. If you're interested in that website, here we go. So I'll put it into the comments, and you can have a look at there. All right. So he's I believe he's deleted most of them. I was lucky enough to get, actually, if you click on that, you get all of them. There you go. So yeah, I've added his work there. He deleted this at one stage, and he's put it back. So lucky for us. It's pretty good. You can apply this to many trading strategies. So there you go. Something if you haven't picked up in the past. And that's pretty much it. Unless you got any questions, I'm pretty much wrapping it up and taking the rest of the day off, do some work. Okay, so I'm looking at the comments. 10, 30 seconds. Any questions? Let me know. And let's look at the last moment. Where is your forum? Look in my signature. It's a Telegram signature. I can't put it there because what they'll do is they will TradingView has a policy where they will delete my post, so I can't say any more than that. Just look at my signature and it will be there. Could you please also take a look at total market? Good point. I should have done that, shouldn't I? Forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me. So I should do that. So what I'll do is now is look at total market cap and look at Bitcoin dominance. That'll make some sense. Okay, so I did have this RSI. So this is the daily chart, and you can see this wedge formation RSI. And when we got the breakout, that's pretty much Bitcoin dominance increasing. And you can see it's also based on this structure previously. You can see how it's. I know I haven't drawn this. This is basically. I love drawing the lines before things happen. That way it keeps you honest. And you can see that this is showing that there's a major resistance here. So what have I got here? Give me a sec. Okay, I couldn't get rid of that. So we can see from Bitcoin dominance that we've hit a resistance, and based on this trend line, and it sort of explains why the alts have kicked in, haven't they? This RSI probably is close towards. So like if you look at this RSI level where it's hit, and I'll change that color. Actually, I'll use the other pen. So we can use this. Around here, you can see there's a lot of RSI pullbacks. So it's like the top on that layer, and then the next layer is up there. So at the moment, it's looking like the RSI is close to its resistance. It's possible that this level here is where the major resistance is. So it might have a bit more to go, or not. It might just come back down. So the Bitcoin dominance is going to be. I would watch that closely. That makes sense. Where's the rubber? Okay. So this is going to be very interesting to watch, this level. And I do see this definitely as a major resistance. I think that will be a fib level as well. Historically, that's, you can see the chart there. And if we were to apply this, let's see to the top, I'll just make the color a bit more obvious. Let's put the default cells out for you. Okay, here we go. So if we use that impulse there, or that wave from that top reference point, yeah, the 618 can be the resistance. But if we do from there to there, top to bottom. So what we've had here is it's close to, it's very hard to figure out what the Bitcoin dominance is going to do from this point onwards, isn't it? Because here was pretty obvious. Bitcoin dominance was going to go up. Now we're close to the top. We don't know. It's going to be hard to measure this. If I was to add, I don't have any other things. Let me see any other tool that might help. MACD. Let's see. So MACD on the daily, it's coming down. Histogram's coming down. So Bitcoin dominance is definitely dropping in the short term. And there's various divergence there as well. So there is definitely there's downward pressure. And if I was to look on that on the RSI perspective, I would use that line as potentially something to watch. I think Bitcoin dominance is more likely to go down now. If I was to use this line, come on, will you? I'm too quick for the bloody PC. So that's what's taking place at the moment. Potentially, if that drops, that's an incline wedge. We'll have one more little left in it, and then down. So there's not much left, and that could be that red level there. So yeah, That looks like a reversal pattern as well for Bitcoin dominance or a continuation. That's going to be hard. So it's difficult, yes, for Bitcoin dominance. Now let's look at total market cap. What was it? No, I just total, wasn't it? No. Let me go to my complete list. Is this the one? Just a sec. Other market. There we go. So I've done some work on that. Haven't looked at it for a while. So you can see when it broke this orange line, there you go, it dropped. That was pretty obvious. Here we have a nice crossover on the daily, on the MACD. So that's crossing over. So that's a good sign. So what we have here is pretty much a flat. So we've got two reference points, bottom there, bottom there. However, on the MACD, we have a bullish divergence, and the fact that it crossed over is a good sign. Come on, what can I draw? Far out. So there to there. So when the MACD crosses over, you can see that that's when I accept it. You've got to see it cross over, and that is a bullish divergence, and that's probably going to go higher. So if we look up close up on this, so all my lines have been pre-drawn, so I'll need to clean this up a bit. You can see the breakdown of it, right? So that was a point of where the market went down, and I get another reference point, so that's justified. But we can see that we found support, and where did we find support? On the one. Nice. How do I get this? So I did that. Where is it? Reference points. So that's 0. I use those previous one. Okay. So that doesn't quite help. Let me look at it from a different perspective. And I'll just use the bottom. So the 618. There you go. What's this red line? Don't know. Okay. So the 618 golden ratio is acting as support on the total market cap. And we've got a double bottom on the daily. Is that enough? So you can see we've got the resistance here on this fib level, 0.5 for the total market, which was previous resistance or support, sorry. So now we can see those resistance on the total market cap. We've got double bottom here. I would say that, yeah, so it might range here a bit, but I'd like to see it go up with lower, higher lows. So if we keep getting higher lows, if it doesn't break and we keep getting higher lows, and we see consolidation under this resistance, then yeah, that is another good sign. Today, we're at a key resistance that we could do both either way. So let me just look at this. We on the daily, give us a look on total market cap. So I don't want these lines anymore. It's going to be an easier way. So we can see resistance there on the total market cap, right? We've got a few wicks on there. Definitely, we've got a few wicks. And I reckon we will range. We might come down maybe to halfway. So we've got to keep an eye on this. So this right there is our previous support and resistance on the daily. I use the body of that candle, the wicks. So that's acting as support and prior resistance. So that level there will tell us if we stay above that on the daily, then it opens a door to break this level here. So if we range here, we are likely to break up. Pretty much, if we range here on the daily, at the moment it's neutral, and we have, you know, we just started a new candle today. So this candle just started at 10 a.m. this morning. So that's about 3 hours ago. So there is no, there is a, it's going to slow down. There is no breakout. It's going to be a consolidation, slow progression for Bitcoin and the alts. This is not going to just break out anytime quick. That's how I'll see that. But that is definitely the range. So if we would just draw that in, this is the resistance that has to be broken. So in terms of Bitcoin, it's sideways at the moment, isn't it? In that range. So it was up there. This does look like a bull flag, sorry. And what time frame could I use to trade this? It's too hard. It's just sideways. Here we can see that not the 4 hour. Let's see the 2 hour. See if the 2 hour helps. So yeah, the 10 and 20 moving average. Yep, 10 and 20 moving average. And if I use a MACD, let's see. I'll add the MACD. Give me a sec. MACD is crossing over on the 2 hour, so that's a bit bearish. If we use a 2 hour, 10, 20 moving average on the 2 hour, it does show a bit of a bearish divergence on the 2 hour. 1 hour, no, there's nothing clear. It's too difficult to tell you what's going on. The 4 hour looks okay, and I would just take it one step at a time. But as I said before, if it drops below this range, I would see that potentially here. If I change the color, here's potentially the area for entry for another move for the bulls to jump in. That's the worst case scenario. The next level is here, potentially point E. One of these two could be it if there's a rejection, and then up it goes. So that's my thoughts for Bitcoin today, and I like for the alts. The indicators don't tell us anything. It's too much sideways. So I'm wrapping up on that, guys. Hopefully that helps. Please give me a like or share, and I'll talk to you soon. All the best. Cheers.